this meeting. This regular session of the Columbia County Board of Education in order, and welcome all who are present this evening. On behalf of the board and Superintendent Flynn, we appreciate your presence and involvement in our school district. Our regularly scheduled board meetings are a time for the Board of Education, Superintendent, and selected staff to conduct important business of the school district within a transparent public format. To ensure that our meeting goes smoothly, professionally, and efficiently, we ask that everyone maintain an appropriate level of decorum at all times. Please abstain from any conduct that would be disruptive or disrespectful. If at any time you're unable to maintain order or proper meeting protocol, we may recess or remove individuals unable to follow our expectations. We ask our students and families and those who have joined us this evening to celebrate special recognitions or recommendations to remain until all acknowledgments and board comments have been made. Thereafter, we'll take a short break to dismiss those participating from this portion of the meeting. At this time, if you would please silence your cell phones or other communication devices. We certainly thank you for that. This evening, we are honored for our invocation to have Trinity Baptist Church Family Life Pastor T.J. Custer, who would like to come to the podium and provide our invocation. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you all for having me this evening. Let's pray together. Lord, I thank you for this wonderful opportunity to pray over our school board and the county that we love so much. I pray, Lord, as we get ready to embark on a new school year, that you bless the leaders, the administration, the faculty, staff, the students, Lord, with a wonderful year. I pray this evening as we go through the agenda, different questions, things to bring up, Lord, that all conversation and conduct would honor and glorify you. I pray, Lord, that each and every leader that is in this room would seek you for guidance and wisdom in decision-making and how that we can continue to make Columbia County such a wonderful school district that we all want our students and children to flourish in and have a wonderful time during their education process. I pray, Lord, your many blessings on our entire county, all schools, elementary, middle, and high school. God, that you would bless this county, you would bless this time that we have together. And I pray that as we have meetings like this, Lord, as we prepare for school years that is just around the corner now at this point, that we truly would be so thankful to you, that we would give you all the honor and glory that you deserve because of the beautiful county and beautiful schools that you have blessed us with. Lord, help us to remember always to praise you for all that you do, all that you have done, and all that you will do in the future in the hearts and lives of all of the Columbia County residents, especially those that are able to use the public school education system. I pray, Lord, right now for this evening that you would just bless the time that we have together, and God, we will thank you and praise you. And it is in Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Next, we are honored to have the Grovetown High School JR OTC cadets here this evening to lead in the pledge. Before they begin, let me just introduce them: Jade Gant, Jocelyn Graham, Amara Harrison, Devine Hona, and Jadeth Picardo. And the commanding officers are First Sergeant Curtis Merrow, Lieutenant Colonel Federico Martinez, and Sergeant Anthony Williams. Let's give these folks a big hand. Presentation code.
Harry, hello. Forward, march. March, time, march. Left arm, march. Colors, halt. Reef and on.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. March, time, march. Right turn, march. Forward, march. Hit. Colors.
Thank you, Georgetown JR-OTC. With regard to approval of the agenda, there are two items that were inadvertently left off the agenda, and I would just ask that we amend the agenda to include our schedule for board member training that was in our packets. I hope everyone saw that. And then also bid result with regard to special education outsourcing teacher. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments. All in favor, raise your hand. I need a second. Yes, I do. Yes, second. Any discussion?
What item numbers will those be now?
We'll make the, let's make the training schedule H under consent items, and let's make the bid result 11.1 after the CTA presentation. Is that okay?
And just for clarification, those are training hours only, that's not anything to do with governance team?
Yes, it's the sheet that was in your packet.
No, we're approving the training hours only, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
As presented in the training packet. All right, with that, all in favor of approval of the agenda as amended, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none. All right, the agenda is approved. At this time, I will turn it over to Dr. Flynn for special recognitions and special recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members, and good evening to all of our guests. Thank you for being here. I'd like to call on Mr. Cummings to help with the first presentation on special recognition.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for being here this evening to share this very special recognition. We're excited to recognize Melissa Blizzard. If you come forward, music teacher at Stevens Creek Elementary School, who's next year is going to be transitioned to Lewiston Elementary School. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this special award that Ms. Blizzard is receiving. Ms. Blizzard was chosen as one of the top 30 2026 music educators in the nation, being recognized as the Country Music Award Music Teacher of Excellence. The CMA Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the Country Music Association, recognized 30 extraordinary educators from 12 states who made outstanding impacts on their students and communities. These educators were selected through a rigorous application process that evaluated instructional excellence, classroom innovation, and leadership. Each honoree received a $5,000 award in recognition of their outstanding contributions to education. Ms. Blizzard plans to use half of the money to further her own education and half on an expensive instrument for her classroom. With this honor, Ms. Blizzard also will get to go to Nashville for Professional Development Day and also attend the Country Music Awards in Nashville, Tennessee in October. Here to support Ms. Blizzard is our new principal, Ms. Sherry Allen. We ask that you would come forward, please. And we ask that any family members or colleagues here to support Ms. Blizzard, if you would stand as well. Let's do it. Ladies. Congratulations, Ms. Blizzard. This concludes our special recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings.
Ready to move on to the next? Yes. All right. We'll move on to special recommendation. This is one that board members, you approved at the last meeting, but we didn't want to miss this opportunity to recognize our new assistant principal for Harlem High School, Mr. Rodney Holder. If you could come forward. I know this is tough, but you can stand here and I get to say a few really good things about you. So, Mr. Holder was officially approved by the board during our last board meeting in June, but was unable to attend due to being out of the country. This evening, we'd like to bring him before you for his official recognition. Mr. Holder holds a bachelor's degree in health and physical education from Georgia College and State University, a master's and specialist degree from Cambridge College in general education and school administration. Mr. Holder began his career in education in 1998 at South Columbia Elementary School as their physical education teacher. In 2003, he accepted a physical education position at Greenbrier High School and later transferred to Grovetown High School in 2009. In 2016, he accepted a physical education position at Lewiston Elementary, and after 7 years, accepted the position at Harlem High School as their athletic director. Mr. Holder has been named Teacher of the Year at 3 different schools and has served as head football coach at Grovetown High and head baseball coach at Greenbrier High. He was also named Region Athletic Director of the Year for 2025 and 2026. I could keep going, but we're very proud to have Mr. Holder moving into this position. Joining Mr. Holder this evening, and if y'all don't mind standing, are his wife, Kelly, and his son, Will. Thank you all for joining us. Mr. Holder, congratulations, and board members, I present to you our already approved assistant principal for Harlem High School, Mr. Holder.
Mr. Holder, thank you so much for coming tonight and letting us recognize you. How many years in the system?
All in Columbia County, too. 28 and a half, going into 29.
Wow, that's great service.
Well, that's what Ms. McKnight keeps telling me. My body's telling me something different.
I know that feeling.
Just thankful. We got an awesome county.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and Harlem High School is very honored and privileged to have you, and we look forward to seeing great things.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few board comments in response to these recognitions and recommendations, and we'll start with Christy Baker.
Appreciate it. Pastor, thank you so much for opening us up an invocation. That was wonderful. Well, it needed for me tonight. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the positive comments on Columbia County School District. We do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Public education gets beaten up quite often, and we do appreciate your wise words and your prayer for us. Thank you so much. To ROTC, they already left. That was great, and we appreciate seeing them. To Mrs. Blizzard, my son, there you are. My son just moved to Nashville. I will go with you. He's got a dog, and we have a free place to stay. And we put up some really nice place. So congratulations, what a great honor. I'm so excited for you. And when is that event?
It's in early October, I think, 6th, 7th, in that range.
Okay, so you'll let us know how things go and really rub elbows and let us know what it's all about.
Special call meeting.
So we're very excited, very honored. Thank you for all that you do. It's truly a gift and a calling to do what you do, and we do appreciate it. I've always said teaching is a calling, and it comes from the heart, and we do appreciate that. And obviously, it shows in what you do. So thank you so much, Mr. Holder. Same goes for you. Thank you for your leadership and your dedication to our county. 28, 29 years is a long time to be in this county. You've seen the changes probably like I have. And they're good. I mean, changes all around us every day, and we've got to be those positive examples for others, and just being the leaders that we are and that you will be. We do appreciate that. Look forward to seeing great things from you. Thank you for your dedication.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Ms. Katie Allen.
Well, I echo everything Ms. Baker said. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for leading us in prayer. Pastor, congratulations to Ms. Blizzard for the wonderful accomplishment. I mean, that's really something to be selected out of that big of a group. So that's just a testament to your work, and we're so proud that you've chosen our county to work in. So thank you. Mr. Holder, you make Harlem one of the many teachers that make Harlem just a wonderful place. So I'm grateful for you and your service. And the JROTC that's left, if any of them are watching from home, their parents are watching, excellent job. It really sets the tone of our meeting of service, of why we're here, service to our community, students, families, parents, each other, the hardworking members of our administrators, the district. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for being part of this community.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. Philip McKinney.
I think we said it all, but Pastor TJ, thanks for getting us started. course, Mr. Holder, you're becoming a legend over there. You're the right guy for the job over there, for sure. I mean, the accolades are endless, for sure. So I'm super proud of you, and can't wait to see your leadership there. Ms. Blizzard, might have to use the rest of that money, or maybe $2,500 of it for the dress for that event. I'm curious to know, what's the instrument?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get a bass xylophone, which is, they're called orphan instruments, but they're meant for young learners, K through 5. And that's a big chunk of money, so if you want to use it on one of the more expensive things. So, but come by and I will let you play it and still wear it out. It's okay. Anytime. Wear your dancing shoes.
Well, thank you for reinvesting back into the school. That's pretty awesome. Ms. Teasley?
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Ms. Teasley?
Well, I'd like to thank all the same people, Pastor. Appreciate your prayer and your good words about public education. And Ms. Blizzard, we've done a lot of acknowledging here, a lot of awards. I don't know if we've ever done the Country Music Award. That was just awesome, and it just speaks to the blessings that we have in Columbia County with the wide variety of talent and effort that our teachers and students and parents go to excel in whatever they choose to aspire to, and that is just awesome. And speaking of awesome, I don't know what to call you, Coach Holder, Mr. Holder, Rodney, but congratulations. It's one thing to teach at multiple schools, but it's another thing to be Teacher of the Year at multiple schools. So I have no doubt that you'll continue to do an excellent job. I know this wall's going to keep you straight, so I'm not worried about that. And the same stuff that you got these first spring, so good luck with that. But I know Carl's in good hands, so y'all continue to do a good job. And since we don't have that many students here tonight, I think this is an excellent time to appreciate our staff, because I know y'all have been working hard to get us ready for back to school, and that takes a lot of effort this time of year, and y'all are running wide open, full steam from can to can, and we definitely appreciate it, because we know this is going to be the best year yet, in spite of all the distraction and the noise elsewhere. We know that y'all are going to continue to do the good jobs that you normally do, and do them even better, so we thank you. The blessings that you are, keep up the good work.
Thank you. Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, this concludes this portion of the meeting, so we'll take a short break. If you do not want to stay for the remainder of the meeting, feel free to leave at this time. This time I'll turn back over to the superintendent.
Board members, before we get started, I'd like to maybe ask for another adjustment. I know you made a couple of adjustments, but exemplary board is something that I know y'all have provided feedback on. We do need approval from the board to apply for that at this evening's meeting, because we won't have another meeting before the deadline. And so if you're willing to add that to agenda for approval, just for us to apply for it, then we could use what y'all have turned in to send that to Georgia School Board Association.
And just for the benefit of our audience, can you explain what exemplary, what the application for exemplary?
Sure. So Georgia School Board Association has a criteria that they use every year for boards of education. And the majority of boards in the state of Georgia apply to this. And there's 3 different levels of recognition. And so through this, it allows us to share the good work that you're doing, our school district's doing. And typically we do apply for this every year.
Need a motion to amend the agenda.
I make a motion that we add the exemplary board as J to the consent items. Or to the agenda, please. J,
Under consent?
under agenda.
It would be an aye.
Aye. I knew it was one of those letters.
Well, I wouldn't put it as a consent item.
Never said agenda.
Let's just add it as, is it?
It has to be on the agenda.
You gotta amend the agenda and then we gotta approve it, but okay.
We're at 7 now, so you can do 7.1 or 8.1. That'd be fine.
All right, let's just do 7.1. Is there a second to amend the agenda?
Yeah.
Did you second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of amending the agenda to add approval of applying for exemplary board, raise your right hand. Any opposed, seeing none? Okay. With that, the agenda is amended. And now, 7.1 would be entertaining a motion to apply for exemplary board through the Georgia School Board Association. Deadline being Friday. Who wants to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Exemplary board, what is that? That means that we are above and beyond, is that a governance? Can you explain a little bit more about what
Well,
criteria that
it's
is?
really their recognition program. The highest is exemplary board. So there are lower levels that some boards would receive. I guess you could receive $9 typically. If you apply, they go through that, they'll give you one of the 3 recognition levels. So that they just call it, that's their overall name.
Very high to be governance team of the year.
It would, but that, yes, that would be another application on top of this. This is just the annual application that you typically do make.
That includes like getting our credits, our CE credits.
Right. Do it all.
We have a whole board training, things like that.
Right.
Well, I'll be honest, I think we have some work to do. I've sent quite a few emails expressing some of the areas that I think we have work to do before we can truly be an exemplary board, and advocating for us to try to get the title even as we have some of that work to do. So those are my thoughts on that.
Any other discussion?
My thoughts are that we actually kind of like the direction the board has been going. I think we've had a lot of great conversations. I don't know how the GSBA defined the exemplary board, but I think what we've been doing is very transparent and very good. I've liked the conversation, but again, I don't know how they judge it, but I think we've been moving in the right direction. Lots to do, but moving in the right direction.
Any consolation, part of the process requires meeting with our stakeholders, which had to be held several weeks back. And since we've only been having one board meeting a month, and it's been kind of difficult, we had to go ahead with that. And we met with several of our stakeholders, and their feedback was very positive, very encouraging. Apparently, they tend to think we're doing a better job than some of us think we're doing.
And I would agree with Mr. Ken. I think we are going in a good direction. This is the first really I'm hearing about this. I think I would like to be equipped with some more information as far as what the rubrics look like, what they're looking for. I know when we went for Governance Team of the Year, I was able to see kind of the evaluations and provide my thoughts on that moving forward. I would say in this particular situation, I've not seen those rubrics. The only thing I've seen is something that is more along the lines of our training hours. So this is, I feel like there should be more information to equip us to kind of have this discussion and decide if we should go for it, because it is a big decision.
It's online, it's on GSBA, and I'm sure you've seen most of what's on there. And we also applied for it last year. So, I mean, we apply for it every year.
The deadline is Friday or
24th or 5th? Thursday.
I mean, we may not receive it.
Yeah, we're just asking to apply.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed?
Abstaining due to lack of information.
The motion passes 4-0 with 1 abstention. Thank you, fellow board members, and thank you, Dr. Blank, for bringing that to our attention.
Absolutely. We'll move on to approval of consent items. We recommend approval as presented.
A motion for approval of consent items.
move.
Second?
Ms. Adeline, you mentioned that you wanted to.
Yes, I'd like to remove the minutes of the regular session meeting, just to make a small amendment to it.
All right, let's approve the others, and then we'll take that up. So there's a motion and a second to approve consent items 8B through H, H being the training hours that we previously added. And it's the June 16 minutes you asked me.
Correct, the regular session meeting.
So This motion would also include the minutes from the July 14th special call meeting. All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All right, those consent items are approved. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 16 regular session?
Or do I make a motion
What
to
amendment
amend?
would you like?
A motion to amend the minutes for June 16th would be my motion. And the amendment I'm just looking to make is something small. Under executive session, I'd like it on page 9, I believe, or the last page of the packet. Under executive session, I would just like it annotated that I left partway through because that was an abnormal action and it ties into the recorded votes afterwards.
What does it say right now?
It says, at this time, a motion for the board to retire into executive session was made by Vice Chairman Philip Kent, seconded by Board Member Judy Teasley, and approved by Chairman David Deacle, Vice Chairman Philip Kent, Board Member Katie Allen, Board Member Christy Baker, and Board Member Judy Teasley. Upon returning from executive session, Vice Chairman Philip Kent made a motion that Chairman David Deacle be directed to execute an affidavit as called for by Georgia law, affirming that no subject was discussed during the executive session which violated the open meeting laws of the state of Georgia. The motion was seconded by Board Member Judy Teasley and approved by Chairman David Deacle, Vice Chairman Philip Kent, Board Member Christy Baker, and Board Member Judy Teasley. Board Member Katie Allen abstained. So due to the fact that I voted no on the affidavit and that I abstained from the contract vote, it was because I was removed from that portion of executive session, and so I think it needs to be annotated that
You weren't removed from the executive session.
no, I removed myself, right, so
Yes.
I would like, even more specific would be an amendment, Ms. Allen removed herself from executive session partway through would be maybe.
I would say that would be appropriate, that,
Okay,
that you removed yourself from executive session prior to the meeting.
okay, I think that would be fair.
Everybody okay with that addition to the minutes? With that addition, all in favor of approving those minutes? Do we have a motion?
I did second. You did a motion, I did second.
Okay, all right.
Ready to vote?
All right, so all in favor of approving those minutes as corrected, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes. Great. All right, we're going to go for Dr. Flint.
Move on to board policies. We do have a number we're putting on the table. We did get some feedback on KG, and we haven't been able to update that yet. So what I'd like to do is go through D through E, and then we'll come back to you with the update on KG. And so they'll all basically be tabled until the next meeting. Well, B through E are already tabled. I'm just going over what they're about.
Okay.
None of them will be up for approval this evening. But since we put them on the agenda, let me let you know what we're working on. And then if you have other feedback, this is the meeting where I typically give you the updates and what we're working on. None of these are required before the start of school, but most of them are due to some of the changes in law or board rule. And so as I go through these, the majority of them, save one, and I'll talk about that one in just a minute. KG, we already have talked about, but we're going to be doing some updates as y'all have provided, and we'll get back to you on that one. Let's see, EBB is around safety, and we do need to add behavior threat assessment management. That's a rule from the DOE, and we'll be adding a little more. I think we're going to go back and reread some of the other areas just to make sure that we have everything in. But that's basically what has to be added to safety under EBB.
We're already doing that, right? BTA?
BTAM will start this year. This is the first year, and so we'll be using it. But we do need to get it in policy. GARJ.
Question, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you jogged my memory, there was an issue, there was a situation where we didn't have block or something, the irrigate doors, we didn't know where they were. I can't remember what school, I want to say it's Lakeside.
Yes, I'll let Ms. Jackson work through that one. Let me maybe just let you answer. But that may deal with this policy, because it's not really an agenda item that you could talk to this policy to just how that block.
Yes, if I remember correctly, that was a substitute teacher that was pulled in. There was an adult in the room, but she was pulled in, and she didn't know where the cable was located. There was a cable in the room, but she just did not know at the time where it was located in order to go and put it on the door. So she has since, we've made sure that all.
But nothing addressed in here with regards to where it's located, how to access it, use it, anything like that is necessary?
Well, actually, yes, it would be, because it's required, we're required in training, right?
Right.
Okay, so yes, that would go with that.
And we updated our training because of that to include all of the subs when they're in the school. So that is a good point, but it is within that policy because of required training.
Thank you.
We actually practice with faculty members at the beginning of the year, like Dr. Flint said, we'll incorporate substitute training. When they come in, they'll get that same training, so be better.
Great.
And I have a lot of questions about the behavioral threat assessment management, but just to clarify, there's going to be more edits to this document and it will be brought back to us for discussion as a draft?
It would be brought back and we would probably recommend approval, but if you had a question between now and then, we'll update it along the way and we'd be happy to fix it and discuss it at the next meeting. And if it's not approved, we'll table it and get you the information you need for the next meeting.
The behavioral threat assessment management, those are from the state level that we have to do. Do they give us guidelines, or do we have?
Yeah, it's all in required at the state level, and actually Ms. Jackson went to that training. Do you want to mention any of that while we're here?
Yes, sir. We've been to several trainings actually through behavior threat, both the police department, myself, and our student support, and they do give us guidelines. It's part of House Bill 268, in which it's a way for us to make sure that there's 4 different categories: unfounded, low, medium, and high level. And so we try to go through when we get a threat of any sort. Our team, we're required now to have a behavior threat management team at each school, and which includes the SRO. And when we get that threat, the counselor, a lot of folks are involved, but they take it, investigate it, and then decide what level. And then that constitutes what our next move would be with consequences, notification, all that kind of stuff.
But are these known threats or perceived threats, would you be proactive as well?
Yes.
Well, I'll go ahead and ask my questions tonight since it seems to be kind of our discussion portion. What program is used to manage these threat assessments?
It's just guidelines from the state with what different threat assessments look like. We just have protocols that we go through and we develop them. Like we modeled ours after Forsyth County, who started this a while back, but then the state also gave us the same guidelines, and it's just not really a program. It's a series of steps that you take.
So we don't use an app or a third-party thing?
The Georgia Emergency Management, we've been trained thoroughly through them, and this also models their best practices as well. So everything we do is through GMOs and the state approval.
Okay, and how is behavior data collected? Surveys given to the students that collect behavior data and have red flags of any kind?
We do not have surveys right now with anything related to behavior threat assessment. There's questionnaires that once you get to a low or medium level that the student has to complete along with the parent that just ask simple questions about what they might have meant by whatever they said, or given the circumstances, they just have to go through a series. But it's not really a survey, it's just a questionnaire that they answer questions, which enables us to identify where we go next with it.
So how would they hit that threshold where they would be given the questionnaire? How would they be identified as?
Depends if they move from, if they're at a low level and they go to medium or high, that's when they would get potentially that questionnaire, depending on what they may have said. It could have been something they worded out if it was specific, like a specific name, I'm going to kill a person, and they mention that person by name, or they have a kill list, and it's very specific. Then we have to go through our series, and it starts from the very beginning We go all the way up to the parent questionnaire, and then consequences. Of course, SRO is involved immediately. So the questionnaire, that's determined at medium and high levels when that would happen.
So
Just maybe for clarification, just in case, the behavior threat assessment management is for when a student makes some sort of a threat,
Yes.
and then we're faced with providing disciplinary action, and at that time, they're making, so this isn't something all students are going through or because of other things. It's when a student makes a statement or makes an action
Yes.
that is threatening in nature, we're now required to go through a process through the GMA requirements.
And it's also documented through Infinite Campus, our behavior, our school student support system, because if they transfer to another school and there's any sort of documentation or a BTAM report, it's going to show up in Infinite Campus for other schools to also get that information. But it is definitely related to a threat of some sort. Even it might not have happened and then it would be unfounded. But they're going to take, just like we do now, we've always investigated those threats. This is a series of documentation that is more universal across the state with how we document it, and that those records would get transferred with the student if it gets to that level of medium and high.
Those are good questions, thank you. Okay, JARJ is employee retirement and really deals with return to work. What we're going to be doing here is updating this document to state basically exactly what TRS is requiring out of us, and it does not meet what they currently require as of this year. So we're updating that based on their feedback. And then IH is student achievement. This one only has a very minor change. It was missed last year. We do allow middle school students to exempt exams, and that's not stated clearly in this policy, so we're updating that one just to state that. And then JB, student attendance, is a requirement around our kindergarten and first grade students. This is a result of a change in state law and readiness for kindergarten and first grade. It's a requirement.
Where it says readiness there, okay, is that literacy readiness? Is that
Yes,
social
that's a very good question.
readiness?
I don't want to say it wrong, so Ms. Gregg, can you just give us the readiness answers here?
Yes, the state now requires a readiness assessment for incoming students that are projected to go into first grade that have not attended public kindergarten. So they have identified assessment tools that we can utilize in that instance. So this is being updated based on that.
What if they're not ready? You do?
We have a series of information we look at. If they're not, then the school committee would come together and place that student in kindergarten.
So Logan County School District personnel can get the privilege of telling parents, sorry, your kid's going to kindergarten.
As a team, they'll make that decision.
And are we going to hopefully publish all that information? I mean, so the parents are aware of that when their students turn 5, and they know.
That'll be a lot of the work through this year.
Yeah, we talked with our principals about it today during our level-wise session, some of the changes related to that for both kindergarten and first grade enrollment requirements and readiness requirements. So we'll continue to have that information out-facing to our community as well based on those changes.
Not to get too far off on tangent, but I have to ask, are we seeing an increase or decrease in a situation where we're having to hold kids back?
No, I would not.
Readiness perspective?
Oh, no, I would not say that. Most of our students come in, where they should be coming in, and as we work with them, we continue to have interventions and things of that nature that we can use to support any learning gaps or readiness gaps that they have. I wouldn't say there's been an increase in that.
This is a result of state law, though, right?
This is a result of state law.
It's probably due to emphasis on literacy and making sure that kids get started on time.
It was part of House Bill 1195.
What is our percentage of students in first grade that attended a private kindergarten setting or that aren't from our kindergarten program, do you know? To be honest, mine went to private kindergarten because I didn't want to go on Fridays because they had a half day. What is full-time school? Like, full-time day, is that, like, that would be 8 hours for kindergarten? Or mine went like 8 to 1 or something like that.
That would be considered a half-day program.
Even if they were off on Fridays?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because there's a lot of private kindergartens around here, I mean, that feed into our school system. I just want to make sure those parents, or they're usually church-based, or, or some of them are.
Absolutely. A lot of our private kindergartens or different alternate other than public do try to mimic the local school system. So many of them do have full-day kindergarten. I don't have the percentage of that, but we don't have a great number of students coming in. Most of our students in our community attend here for kindergarten. They always have the option not to, or had the option not to attend kindergarten. It's always been volunteering in the state of Georgia. And this focus on literacy has brought this to light and encouraged that all students attend kindergarten now.
Makes sense. Thank you.
We had a really great training on this back in June at the GSBA training conference, and it was somebody that was actively involved in this legislation, and she was very adamant that the state wanted school districts to hold children back if they truly were not ready. She said there were ways, certainly to work together as a team if the child was kind of on the cusp. But it was interesting to me hearing that the state's perspective, and she was very much about literacy, right? It was wonderful to see her passion, but it was also interesting, I think, good for us to note as a district that it seems like the intent of this really is to hold a child back until they have the foundational elements to succeed in first grade, that they're looking at it, that it's better to repeat that year if the foundation isn't strong versus having them go ahead into the next grade, trying to learn to read without a strong foundation of letters and sounds. And so it's kind of an interesting perspective of going from kind of a no child left behind mentality almost back to the other end of the spectrum of if they're not ready, it's better to make sure that they're foundationally ready before we move them on for something so pivotal as reading. So just kind of sharing that out there, at least that trainer's perspective from working on this legislation with the state.
Okay, so those policies we'll be talking about again. The ones that have had changes, I'll try to bring those back to you. But if you have other suggestions on those, please feel free to continue to send them to me. And thank you for looking through those. Okay, next couple of items. We do need to talk about graduation ceremonies for 2027. And in just a minute, I'll ask Dr. Campbell to come forward. He's been working on that. I know y'all are interested in that as well. Thank you for always attending those. Then we'll move into career, technical, and agricultural education pathway update. We do have a bid result related to that, but it'll be a little bit out of order because I know we changed those. But we'll be getting to that when I get through those. But at this time, and that'll be Mr. Smith doing the majority of that, but at this time I'll call Dr. Campbell forward, and then I'll let you handle all that we need to do for the next two items. Then I'll be back up for the bid results.
Yes.
I think you said 2 hours. I was like,
Maybe 2 minutes. So, I know it seems like we just finished graduation, but it's time to plan for 2027. So this evening, I'm just going to share the proposed 2027 graduation schedule. So the schedule for you is based on the rotation we use each year to determine the order of schools. The last day of school is Wednesday, May 26th, and the first graduation is scheduled for Wednesday of the month. We would hold 2 graduations on Thursday and 2 graduations on Friday. The start times are the same times we have used the past 2 years. The Evanstown Center is reserved, and along with the Columbia County Performing Arts Center is reserved for we would issue 1,800 tickets and distribute it in case of inclement weather. In case of inclement weather, the date and times would remain the same. Although we're not proposing a schedule for 2028 graduation this evening, we do want to share that a second option for
graduation will become available on June 28th. The Augusta Arena is scheduled to be completed June 2027, which will provide 10,000 indoor seats. We considered offering this option for 2027, but the general manager could not provide any assurance that the arena would be completed by May. Additionally, the only dates available were May 29th and 30th, which is a Saturday and Sunday, due to Richmond County reserving the Tuesday through Friday for their graduations. Families are already requesting information for the and dates for the 2027 graduation for planning purposes. So we decided to move forward with the Evans Town Center Park for 2027. We do plan to survey high school parents and community this year after the 2027 graduation to determine their preference for the 2028 graduation location.
Is parking going to change in the new, I guess, Richmond County
So
facility?
they do, from what I understand, they do have a parking deck that they're.
That was one of the problems.
But no assurance that it will be ready for 2027, and moving forward without having some assurance.
You're going to do for 2028?
Oh, yeah.
Do we need any action by the board for these?
It's more just informational.
Thank you, y'all do such a great job. Oh, sorry, I was just adding in there, y'all do such a great job, and especially when there's delays or unique situations. I noticed with the last round, there was one of the graduations that weather was coming, and I thought it was just excellent how the call was made. The backup plan was in place, and everything goes smoothly. And once again, you're looking ahead to say, hey, we're just gonna make a decision, and I think, kudos to all the work you and your team did.
So it's definitely a team effort there. Thank you. All right, so we'll move right on into the new CTAE pathway presentation. We're excited to share that we're adding an additional CTAE pathway for the 26-27 school year, heavy equipment operator. As always, we listen to our business community partners to determine how we can support workforce needs. We received feedback from construction companies that heavy equipment operators and employees with commercial driving license are high-need areas. So we developed this program to meet that need. This pathway is going to provide many opportunities for construction companies in our area to partner and provide hands-on experience with our students. So at this time, our CTAE Director, Brooke Smith, will share the details of this exciting new pathway.
So this pathway, which we are very excited about, and it is, as you see on the first bullet, one of the things that's really exciting about it is available for students in all 5 high schools. And I think that's a really important aspect of this. And all students completing this program will receive their OSHA 10 certification, as well as potentially a technical certificate of credit diploma in basic heavy equipment operator. This will be in a partnership with Augusta Technical College. They've already vetted our instructor's credentials, and so he does meet their credentials. So students in this program, while they're receiving their 3 high school credits for the high school CTAE pathway, they would potentially be also receiving TCSG, Technical College System of Georgia, credits, 3 courses of credits, because they're the same courses, and they would be eligible to receive the technical certificate of credit diploma from Augusta Technical College, which I think is really neat, that in addition to the OSHA 10 certification, they could have a TCC diploma from the technical college as well. And then we are looking at the potential for our 18-year-old students in this program to receive the CDL training, and looking at that as another important aspect of this program. And the brochures you have, and just to clarify some things on there, this is the brochure that students received back in the spring at all 5 high schools. It does say CEO. I thought that was a little catchy. That wasn't what I knew, which is construction equipment operator. So that if there is heavy equipment, I went with CEO because I just thought that would be a little catchy. We had over 60 students apply, and so we're very excited. It was well received. Those will be juniors and seniors this year will be in the program. And then much of the heavy equipment training will use simulators. And this video, if you can hit the, let's see if it'll play. Will it play? Maybe.
I want to see a video.
have a map for.
But, the picture on the left is actually in, I'll show it in my words on the phone. But it is actually Dr. Campbell, using an excavator, and, very realistic. He tried it out. We had a number of industry partners in the area come, and we had the piece of, one of the simulators here, which the one on the right is very similar to what we hope to be purchasing. And, oh, here it goes. You got it. Here we go. No, here we go. Watch the.
It's.
Okay, anyway, so there you go. So that's actually Dr. Campbell using that. And we do plan.
It's not easy.
Actually,
Get back, it's gonna be tough.
Ms. Garner did very well. I do give you credit. She did very well. But we do plan to partner with some of our construction companies that will actually bring various actual build equipment out to where we're going to be teaching the program, which will be at the old Columbia Middle School. And we have some designated area, I think, around where the old football field is that we've cleared, and we know there's nothing dangerous that they can dig over. In addition to the simulators, we'll have some real equipment that they can use, including in some of our space out there that will be former warehouse space. They'll have some actual forklift operator experiences that we'll provide as well. And these simulators that we hope to be purchasing, as I said, were vetted by some of our local industry partners who validated the authentic simulation that the platform provides, which includes safety errors, fuel consumption, various weather scenarios. I think, Ms. Teasley, you had some where they did like some bad weather, that sort of thing. So it's very authentic, and we're very excited to provide this opportunity for our students. And as Dr. Flynn said, I think he'll be mentioning some of the other aspects of the bids later on this evening. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes, you can come use them, as well as the bases out of Lewiston Elementary. So y'all can make the rounds.
I've used it while they drive.
Yes.
All right, so they're gonna have more than one simulator?
Yes.
Okay, and all the simulators will be at the old Columbia Middle?
Yes.
Okay. So the students then will go there for instruction?
We'll work it very similar to how we do work-based learning. Okay. So that's how we're structuring this. So yes, it'll be at the old Columbia Middle School.
All right, so now they'll be able to get a CDL on the simulator?
Not on the simulator. They'll still have to do the road test, but we'll prep them for that. And you know, in Georgia, you can, from 18 to 20 years old, as long as you're not transporting hazardous materials, you can work within the state with your CDL, so driving a dump truck, that type of thing.
Does that apply to school buses?
You want to know?
School buses?
Yeah. Well, no.
I'm just asking.
I'm going to yield to others to answer that question, but I mean, I did drive a school bus when I was, but that was in the 90s. It was in the 90s.
You're in South Carolina.
And South Carolina.
They drive in high school.
That's correct. Yes.
I work with stop signs with a bus driver on the road.
That is.
Yeah. South Carolina, we're a little different.
And so we have 42
This
students.
is a great addition to our CTA program. It's very practical. The skills are much needed in our construction industry here locally. So.
I have a question. I have a question about forklifts. So what is the age requirement for forklifts? And I'm assuming that we have other industries that can hire forklifts. Not
Yeah, I mean, typically it's based on each company and what their insurance stipulates. So, but you know, our students when they graduate are going to, for the most part, be 18. Yes.
And they can get technical college credit and high school credit for the same course.
That's correct.
So if they do this and pay attention to what they're doing, they leave high school ready for the job market with an OSHA 10 certification, possibly a CDL.
And the TCC diploma on the technical college system.
Do they fully understand what they're possibly applicable? too?
I think so. Most of that's in the brochure that they received, and we had such just immediately students applying for this. So I think they understand the value of it.
That's great. Good job.
Do these have any connection to JA simulations? Like the BizTown, the BizPark, the Dream Accelerator, any of that type of stuff? Do these simulators have any connection that JA would be involved in this or help in any way?
Not that I'm aware of. This is.
Just totally different.
Well, yeah, they will teach them how to manage all that money they're gonna make.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Ideally.
Correct.
Thank you, Mike. This is the part of the agenda where we inserted the result with regard to special ed.
For Lisa, both of us?
So we'll go. On June 4th, the Human Resources Department issued a request for proposals for more than 10 vendors seeking special education teachers and specialized service providers on an as-needed basis. A total of 29 proposals were received based on cost, available staffing inventory, estimated time to fill vacancies, Georgia experience, and references from other school districts. 3 vendors were ranked the highest. On the chart before you, you can see the 3 highest rated companies based on the reference criteria. After evaluating the cost, available staffing resources, responsiveness, and prior performance, we recommend the contract be awarded to BlazerWorks at an estimated cost of $101,840 per teacher annual costs. Recommend approval as presented.
Someone like to make a motion?
We have to have a motion before we can discuss it, right?
Yes.
So moved.
Second. Floor is open for discussion.
How many teachers do we anticipate needing?
I'll ask Mr. Wright to help chime in on some of these, if you don't mind.
Yes, we anticipate about 8 to 10, probably more throughout the school year, but right now we have a total of 20 certified vacancies, of which 8 are special ed. That we anticipate to have fewer by the time school opens, but this is just a backup measure in case we need to surge, or we're going to lose some throughout the school year, or we're going to get new students, so this is just a plan for when that occurs.
And these teachers are already trained?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And they have experience?
They will have experience. They've been all over the state, all over the nation. So BlazerWorks has a wide network of special ed teachers and other teachers, OT, and some other professionals we may need throughout the year. So, and they also work with a number of school districts in the state.
And the appropriate certification?
Yes, ma'am. They come with certifications that we require, and if they don't have a full certification that we need, we're going to get a price break. For example, we hire some special ed teachers with provisional certifications, so we're not going to pay for a fully certified teacher. We're going to get one that is a provision as a lesson, full certification.
And they're familiar with all the federal and state requirements for special ed students? They can write IEPs, they understand 504. There's no need for Columbia County to train them?
No, ma'am. And we've used some of these folks before, some of these services before. With outsourcing or using a vendor is nothing new. We've had to do it with Sunbelt, BlazerWorks. The reason we did this is that they have the ability to serve, they have a larger network, and it's kind of a turnkey operation for us.
I'm assuming part of the bid process, we review losses, claims, things of that nature.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Assuming in the bid process, we review claims, losses, things associated with these entities. That's part of the bid process, I assume?
Yes, that's part of
And
it.
everything looked pretty clean, I would imagine, right?
Good reputation. They've been in business for a while, so we feel we're good.
And where I'm going with this is we don't want headlines with, people putting kids in headlocks, You've seen that.
I understand.
Mr. Wright, why do they only have occupational therapy? How did that get in there?
Why do we, or
And not nursing or?
we could add those. We do a pretty good job of getting them ourselves right now, but if it ever comes a time that we need to use that type of professional, certainly we can ask for it. But right now, we just don't need it.
So did something else be added? Let's say we need 2 PTs and a speech language pathologist. We need to do the same. I mean, even though it's not listed here, we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
get through it now?
They even have paraprofessionals, but again, they would be happy to outsource any line or any category of employee that we want.
So this company would pay for everything, and their insurance, their PTO, are they on the same schedule that we would be on?
Yes, ma'am, they will pay for, they're paying for their retirement, they're paying for their insurances. That cost, which is under our total cost for a teacher, when you figure in TRS and medical and all that kind of stuff, that is a bit of a savings for us. But again, our intent though is to recruit Carroll and fill in the gaps with these services.
What counties do we know that have tried this on a large scale?
Yes, Gwinnett has tried it, Cherokee has tried it, Paulding, they're currently using it. Atlanta Public Schools, in fact, a number of the Atlanta Public area public schools are using it. Definitely Blazer Works and Sunbelt. And again, we've used Sunbelt in the past. And Blazer Works has worked a bunch of number of years with Sunbelt. So Blazer Works will be the umbrella for all these companies, and they will provide us with the talent in a faster fashion for us.
So, well, give me an example of, let's say we need someone to fill a position. Are they under contract with us for the year? What if, because I work in healthcare, so I know we have traveling every nursing, CNAs, PTs, OTs. So, sometimes they're only there for 6 weeks and then they move on. What is our guarantee that this person would stay with us for the whole year so that there would be interruptions in the contract?
That's the contract.
Okay, so it would be for the year contract with this person.
With this person. If that person leaves, they're going to give us another person. So not unlike some of the problems that we have right now, but one of the problems we may experience with special ed talent is that we lose them in November and December. There's a gap until January or mid-January until we get that position filled. Now, this person will step in, and that's critical to that to this process with the estimated fill time of 7 to 10 business days, which is a little bit faster than we can hire during the school year.
Just help me understand how they can get someone better than we can. Like, that's just, I'm having a hard time understanding, like.
Yes, they have a network, they have an inventory.
From outside of the state of Georgia.
Yes, ma'am, and in the state of Georgia too.
Okay.
There are a lot of folks, think of it as like traveling nurses.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yes. There are just a number of folks that would prefer to do this, be here this year, be somewhere else next year, and do that. It's something that's kind of different for me to get my head around, but a lot of folks like to do that. So, yeah, they have a large inventory of folks, and they supply a lot of talent to a lot of districts, not only in Georgia, but in the surrounding areas.
Is this part of the reason for our shortage?
Ma'am?
Is this program part of the reason for our shortage?
No, I think its competition is local health care. And that's something that, we've been struggling with for a number of years, and we hope that it's going to get better with the SLP program that AAU should help us. But, that's been a fight of ours in recruiting and hiring SLPs has been helpful. For other special ed, we do okay. General ed, general curriculum, we're doing okay. This year, when you consider the number of positions we added, and to only be 8 short right now, that's pretty good. So
Those are teachers.
These are teachers, yes.
And just to be clear, our goal is to not have to use the service, correct? I just want to make sure.
That's our goal, but we're going to end up using mine. I can tell you that we've used Sunbelt for a number of years. Sunbelt staff for either an OT or for a special ed teacher or for an ED teacher at some point during the year.
So I'm going to jump in here. I want to time travel back to March of this year when we had this idea brought to us, and we were told that there was an RFQ out. It made it sound like it was just an idea that we were discussing, but at that point, the RFQ was actually closed on March 18th. And I'm seeing that the process continued to move forward, and now on Friday I received an email saying, hey, we're ready to bid for these outsource sped paras, but when I go back and re-listen, which I did to the March 24th discussion at this board meeting, we had a lot of concerns about this as a board. We were concerned if the workers would be unionized. We were concerned about if the districts who had brought in the paras and began outsourcing them were happy with that, because some of the districts brought them in and then went back to hiring their own. You know, I think the community was in a bit of an uproar, judging by the reaction that I saw, and some that reached out to us saying, we have concerns about hiring and outsourcing paraprofessionals, especially sped paraprofessionals. So the idea at that time was to study it and come back and have another discussion, and to get basically a approval list saying, hey, these are our vendors to choose from, let's approve in, you know, just a few days. That's not a lot of information for one. It's not providing, and this is not on you, Mr. Wright, you just get to be the one presenting. But I would think we're open to a discussion. I think we owe it to have a discussion and table this. Ms. Teasley, I thought, did an amazing job reassuring the community during the candidate forum during election that we're not going to outsource paraprofessionals. I think that made people feel kind of at ease that, hey, it was just an idea that was discussed, explored, and now all of a sudden we're acting upon it. And I know we're talking about we're not going to use it very much, but when I go to the procurement website, and that's where I find out all my information about this bid, it's that one, we are looking to save money, is the reasons why we're doing it, that's a quote. Two, our key driver or need for this is cost. We're trying to save money. We're looking to hire 424 paraprofessionals according to this RFQ. That's our entire paraprofessional staffing. It is kind of what it looks like. Back in March, we were told that we had 200, I think, sped paras a few years ago. Now we downsized to 80 to 85. We're scaling down. I don't understand why we're scaling down paras. But again, we discussed all this thoroughly. It was a great discussion. On top of that, we were told that a paraprofessional's annual salary from us is $24,000 with benefits factored in. It was $54,000 per paraprofessional. I'm looking at this and it's saying annual cost per teacher $101,840. So I have a lot of questions. Well, this is my first time speaking.
Back up the teacher.
Yeah, can I just maybe, those are two very separate items. We're not looking at outsourcing any groups of employees, and we've done this. You might want to talk about how many years, Mr. Wright, but this is kind of an ongoing, but we have to rebid this. And Mr. Casado, if we say anything different, I know you've been involved in all these, but this doesn't have anything to do with what you're referencing, and I know it may be confusing. I'm sorry if it was, but
for the special education recommendation for vendor support / special education staff augmentation is not in reference to the RFQ HC-03-10-26A request for staffing services for special education and paraprofessionals. These are two separate items that just coincide with this time frame. Is that what?
We went back and redid the RFP. That's a separate item. All we're interested in is contracting, is contracting for backup support special ed teachers. Nowhere are we interested in paraprofessionals or outsourcing a paraprofessional force. This is something that we have been doing for a number of years. I'm sure I'll tell them how many years you've been using Sunbelt.
Since I've been here, and this is for 3 years in this position, we've been, if we've had staffing needs during the school year, we will reach out to these contract agencies to fill some of these voids, small numbers of voids.
So this RFQ that says it will be awarded in July of 2026 is not what we're voting on right now at this meeting, correct?
What we're voting on, I thought, was if we need a special ed teacher, there are 34 different companies out there that can provide special ed teachers within 7 to 10 days or longer. So my understanding is that the contract is for LaserWorks. Hey, I need these are the conditions that they're going to be provided under. If we need them for a year, they will be contracted for a year. If we need them for 6 months, they will be contracted for 6 months. And nowhere in there are we interested in outsourcing any paraprofessionals. We had that discussion, and it didn't go, you all said you didn't want to do that.
Right, so we still have an open RFQ selection process regarding, I would say to call it for this one, I would like to see the RFQ associated with this document then that we're asked. And I would say we need to table this document until we've seen the RFQ so we know exactly what we're voting on right now. Because all I have is a document that says these are the vendors that are the top ones. I know there's an open RFQ that's supposed to be decided in July that seems to be very similar to this.
Did we renew that RFQ? Is that gone?
It was open as of today when I found it.
Mr. Casado?
I would have to review the associated RFQ.
Can we not assign a number to this document right here and vote on it tonight? I mean, for my days in retail, I can certainly give us a purchase order number in a heartbeat.
Look, they may have provided us numbers on paraprofessionals, as Mr. Wright alluded to, they could do it, but there is no intent whatsoever to outsource paraprofessionals through this company.
I believe you. But if all we need is a number to move on, how we can fix that.
Well, there's an addendum to this that we provided answering vendor questions, asking how many personnel are we looking for, and we provided an answer of 424 paraprofessionals for whatever this RFQ is. So I think the best way to settle this is we table it, we get the RFQ associated with this bidding process so that we know what we're voting on. Right now, I don't think any of us are.
I mean, if there's any confusion, I don't have a problem with that. This is not what we're doing here. This was a separate bid. You see completely different companies, which is, in this case, you saw in the last one, there's temporary staffing agencies, and on this one it's an actual agency that works to fill these positions part-time. But I don't have, if there's any confusion, why don't we just bring it back to the next meeting? I don't have a problem.
How does this affect us on the start of school?
The only problem I would have with that is that we're going to probably start the year, if we wait another 2 or 3 weeks to do this, we're probably going to not have everyone that we need. Now, we can go back and do it the way we've done it in the past and call up Sunbelt and say, hey, can you provide us with X number of bodies or X number of special ed folks to fill these vacancies that we have. All we're trying to do now, the intent, was to say, hey, listen, we have a contract with you guys, and I know we're going to need 10 guys on this date, or I know I'm going to need this, and they say that they can provide it. That was the intent of this whole thing, how we got it.
We're needing people day one. Maybe I misheard, but I thought I was sort of led to believe that, that we needed, it felt sort of like they were there when we needed them. So like we literally needed day one?
If we were to start school tomorrow, we would need 7 special ed. Now, there are 2 weeks roughly to try and find them. So, but we're just trying to get ahead of that.
But there's no reason we can't still do that while we discuss this a little more.
Well,
You can still call Sunbelt and say, I have a need for, because that's what we've done in the past, correct?
yes, ma'am.
You're just asking a bidder. I guess mine is the verbiage in here about staffing. Like, how would we know if we did fill a position with a paper pro? How would we, and I,
We're not going to pay a parapro $67 an hour or $101,000 annually.
well, this is per teacher contract, not.
Yeah, but you said you don't want us to do that.
Right.
You don't want us to do paraprofessionals.
Correct, so we would only, I guess, because in the verbiage it says occupational therapist, the bid, and other staffing.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So how would we know if we?
Okay, well, I'm your person that's totally not allowed. And so you're saying that if we need an occupational therapist, we're gonna go to those guys, hey, we need one, we need a school psychologist. Hey, I need you to provide me with that paraprofessional, with that person. You said that you do not want us to look at, you do not want us to outsource paraprofessionals.
Yeah, I don't think that's the issue. Sorry, I'm going to break this issue, but it is that it doesn't seem to be documented. No one here in this room can tell us that RFQ's gone, this is something new. you're not creating a delineation here, we just need that. If you gave that to us right now, I think we'd be fine, but I don't
If
think
this
we're
was
right.
something totally different, I would be amenable to voting for it. If I had something in front of me that says this is for sped teachers, and if it's not this RFQ, I apologize. It's just, it's very overlapping in the verbiage, especially as Ms. Baker rightly pointed out. Staffing is a very broad term. We happen to have this RFQ. I'm being told now it's gone away, but in the bidding procurement registry, it's still active, and it says the bid's going to be awarded in July of 2026 right now. And it said that it closed out. As far as receiving vendors, and that gives an evaluation process time. So the lining up is very similar. If I'm, if it's totally different, I apologize, but I think it would be wise for us to see the procurement document to say, hey, here's what we searched for, here's what we found, and here's the needs that we've told vendors we're expecting to be met with this vote.
Perhaps there's a solution here. My concern about putting it off is that if we need those teachers on day one, I think the parents of these special ed kids would want a teacher in their room that's qualified. Secondly, this contract, if we approve this contract, that doesn't mean that our staff is going to go out and replace all our parapros. We as a board have expressed our desire that parapros not, that group of employees not be outsourced, and we can take official action on that. Just because the contract's in place doesn't mean they can go do it without our approval. So we can approve this contract with specific direction not to outsource parapros unless you come back to the board.
Yes, sir.
Can we do that?
Yes, sir. Well, we're not even going to ask these folks for paraprofessionals, because we know how to go. So,
And if our vote was along those lines, we'll approve this contract with directions that our staff not utilize the contract to fill parapro positions without coming back to the board, would that work for you?
sir, I just want to fill the position.
I want you to fill the position, but I think our
Motion?
yes, you can.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the bid as presented with the addition that no parapros be hired, utilized under any circumstances with this document. That do it?
Under this contract. Yeah. I'll second that motion.
Okay.
There's already an open motion, so that'd be an amendment.
Yes. Yeah, that would be an amendment to the motion.
Okay.
So
I seconded that. Any further discussion on that?
one quick point, I will vote in support of it specifically for the special education teacher aspect, but with the direction that I do think we need to be hiring our own personnel and making every effort to hire our own personnel before contracting. Also, normally I would abstain because I don't have the information in front of me that I feel like I need to have, but given this unique circumstance, limiting it to sped teachers as a backup option with the intent that HR is continuing to look for our own in-house employees that have more of a tie to the district and don't want to state hop or school hop based on contracts and how much they make. All those stipulations, I would vote to support it in this unique circumstance.
Okay, just so that we can be procedurally in line, hopefully doing all this right. We have a motion to amend the motion, which we need to approve.
I'll make a second on that.
And
Motion to.
yeah, let's approve the motion to amend.
So moved.
Yeah. We've done that. Okay, all in favor of the amendment to the motion, not e-motion, but the motion, raise your right hand. Okay, so the motion on the table is to approve the bid result with the proviso that the contract not be used to fill parapro positions. Did I state that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that motion, that's the motion on the floor now. All in favor of that motion, raise your right hand. We got through it, folks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for a healthy discussion, and thank you That's right, and I hope that you're able to fill all of those positions in-house, but if not, you've got your backup.
That's right.
Okay, we'll move on to support the construction equipment operator pathway. The Columbia County School District evaluated available instructional simulator options. Learning Labs Incorporated is the sole source educational seller, servicer, and supporter of CM Labs heavy equipment simulators in Georgia. The proposed purchases include 5 heavy equipment simulators and 2 instructor stations, along with unlimited support for the first year. Equipment includes a 2-year warranty and ongoing service, support and service fees in the amount of $13,864.50 per year after the first year. So we recommend awarding this bid to Learning Labs Incorporated for a total cost of $478,000.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
And this is just what we were talking about prior. Okay.
These will be the simulators placed at Columbia Middle School for our heavy equipment operator.
You said these funds came out of the general or club?
It's within the CTAE, we have the funds there, but we're also getting some grant funds, so it'll be decreased from this amount, but it was budgeted.
This is paid for by the general fund, right?
It would be general because it would be budgeted.
It's instructional, it shouldn't be anything but that good.
I mean, there are some stipulations we could do otherwise, but this is how we budgeted it.
I mean, if it were attached to the side of the wall, we might be able. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. That's unanimous and approved.
We'd also like to request the board ratify the action taken at the special call meeting on July 14th to rescind the bid award to Carroll Daniel and award the bid to McKnight Construction as a CMAR for Greenbrier High School.
Second.
All right, any further discussion on that?
I think we've discussed that.
Will Mr. Jardine be here at any point?
I'm sorry.
Will Mr. Jardine be here at any point from Turner Townsend to answer some of our questions, since he was the one that did the computations?
You have not asked him to be here.
Is that something the board is interested in hearing from him?
I think, not at this point. I would like for our superintendent to look at our program manager status and provide us with some information on recommendations moving forward.
I would say I'm a little surprised if we didn't hear from the council, the council wanted to hear. That would have been helpful in the conversation.
Excuse me, what was the one?
You mean the program manager?
Turner Townsend, the representative from Turner Townsend.
Okay, all right.
Stuff like that really should have been helpful.
Okay.
And there, I think we all probably still have some questions, but I don't think any of them are going to change the awarding of the bid. And I think we need to go ahead and put that issue to rest and move forward.
All right, well, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. That is ratified, and I assume McKnight Construction has been notified of our...
Have, and we'll be also reaching out again tomorrow. Okay, we'll move on into superintendent reports. As you know, we recently held summer school graduation for the class of 2026 at the Columbia County Performing Arts Center. A total of 40 students received their diplomas, and the event was a great success. Thank you, board members, for your participation in that celebration, and special thanks to all the staff, many of whom were in here, helped with this commencement, along with all of our summer school staff for their hard work with engaging our students in success over the summer months. Thanks also to our parents for their support. It was very evident that evening at the commencement ceremony. And we send one final congratulations to all of last year's graduates. Congratulations. The annual Columbia County School District Special Education Services Summer Institute provides special education staff and administrators an opportunity to dive into some of the areas that most frequently impact our special needs population. This year, approximately 215 school leaders and staff were provided an opportunity to practice and understand specifically designed instruction, legal issues impacting special education, instructional strategies, and behavioral supports. Attendees heard from their colleagues as well as other experts to increase their overall knowledge base and to help them better serve our special needs population. Thank you for your work on that as board members. Hopefully you'll continue to see that work throughout the year. We look forward to bringing you additional information as we get through the year. The annual United Way of the CSRA Stuff the Bus School Supply Drive took place this past Friday. We're pleased to report that 2 school buses were filled with school supplies to benefit students in need. Each year, this school drive, supply drive benefits students in schools in districts across the CSRA, and we're grateful for their support. Special thanks to the United Way and the CSRA for hosting this event, and to our bus drivers and volunteers who helped unload all of these supplies. Before you are some of the photos of students and volunteers from Greenbrier High School who came out to help unload those supplies. Later this week and next, our middle and high schools will welcome their rising 6th and 9th graders for their annual orientation camps. Students will have the opportunity to visit their own high schools, meet with upperclassmen, and tour the school before the first day of school. On Thursday, we look forward to welcoming our new teachers to their classrooms, followed by the start of new teacher induction on Friday. Tuesday, we look forward to welcoming all of our teachers and staff back for pre-planning. On Monday, July 27th, our team of school bus drivers will begin picking up their buses and practicing their routes. So if you're out on the roads, be careful and know that traffic will start to increase. On Wednesday, July 29th, we'll host AAA's Schools Open Drive Carefully Campaign press conference at Carroll Middle School beginning at 10 o'clock. We are delighted to be selected by AAA once again as the host for this event, which is designed to help bring awareness to the driving public across the state, and that school buses will be back on the road as schools get back in session. Guest speakers from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and others, even our own Ms. Jackson, will be there to share a few remarks about the importance of driving safely in and around school zones and school buses. The community is welcome and invited to attend. Just a friendly reminder that open house for the new school year is scheduled for next week. High school open house will take place from 3 to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, July 29th, followed by middle school open house on July 30th from 3 until 5 o'clock p.m. and elementary open house from 5 until 7 p.m. Finally, the first day of school will be the following Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Online student registration is still ongoing, and we're asking all of our parents to complete the required process prior to the first day of school. Our new communications app, Parent Square, is up and running. As we made the switch back in April from Remind to Parent Square, things are moving seamlessly so far for the new school year with parent communications. Parents will begin receiving more information about Parent Square, and prior to open house, parents will receive activation links for the new school year for their students. Each year, we encourage our families to complete the free and reduced meals application, which determines eligibility for receiving school breakfast and lunch at a reduced or no cost. This application must be filled out every year in order to determine eligibility. USDA applications are available on our Department of School Nutrition's webpage. Only one application is needed per household, and all information is private and confidential. Parents can receive assistance with completing these applications during open house. Today we wrapped up the final day of our annual Back to School Leadership Conference, where we rolled out our theme for the year, the promise of the CCSD, and kicked off the year of promise with 2 full days of important instruction and training to get our school leaders prepared to welcome students and staff back to their schools. It was a great event, and our school leadership teams are excited and already doing great work. Thanks to all of our district leadership who worked hard to bring all of these components together for this important kickoff event. Many of them are here in the room today. At this time, please direct your attention to the screen to view the Promise campaign video that will be released later this week.
This year, the United States of America is celebrating 250 years.
It's time to reflect on our nation's strengths and what makes this country great. Our republic is one where the power is held by the people and for the people.
Foundational principles, which have been the key to our nation's success, are rooted in the documents like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
They include core concepts such as equality, democracy, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
This year's national milestone is the perfect time to think about all that has been achieved in the past and all of our hopes for the future.
That is the promise of the American dream, a promise that anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances, can achieve success.
And that promise has been cultivated right here in the Columbia County School District,
where our schools are focused on educational excellence and on ensuring that each student is engaged, enriched, and inspired. Our public education system plays an important role in delivering on that promise. It's about a promise found in every student who enters our schools.
and on the promises made to educate us so we can reach our full potential.
The promise of CCSD also speaks to our teachers and all CCSD employees in the work that they do, as well as the promises school leaders make to deliver upon for our community.
In each of us, CCSD sees the hope of our nation.
Our school district believes every teacher is a potential builder of greatness in the next generation.
And in each CCSD leader, there is a champion, their shared purpose that is focused on students and their success.
In every school, we are fortunate to have a community centered on teaching and learning.
Communities that support public education and realize it can enhance the quality of our lives in profound ways.
In today's world, the word promise might be viewed with skepticism by some.
But for us, promise is a positive, encouraging word that says our schools can, do, and will make a substantial difference in our lives. I am the promise of Columbia County.
I am the promise of Columbia County.
I am the promise of Columbia County.
We are the promise of Columbia County.
We will become tomorrow's cybersecurity analysts,
nurse practitioners,
renewable energy engineers, electricians,
pilots, teachers.
We are the future.
Embrace the promise.
Unleash our potential.
And together, we can accomplish
anything because we have big dreams.
And in the Columbia County School District, we have the opportunity to make those dreams come true.
School leaders get to see that as well, and we're excited about this year. Lastly, residents across Columbia County have received our annual Back to School magazine. Readers will find a variety of information about the CCSD as we prepare for the beginning of what we know will be the best school year yet. The magazine is also available digitally on our website. The rest of the items are dates of upcoming events, and that concludes my portion. Unless you have any questions for me.
Committee to traffic patterns, anything changed with the Lakeside patterns as far as traffic?
We were just talking about that today, as a matter of fact. Ms. Jackson, you want to highlight those too?
Nothing's really changing at Lakeside for the most part. We are going to make the one side by the pack once you get past the student parking lot on the left one way, so that will ease our traffic out of the facility. Evans, we have met with our traffic people in the county and looked at stuff. We're going to make that one way. You turn into the pack, that's going to be the parent car line now, and it will wrap all the way around the school to the back near the new cafeteria. So that will be one way at all times, and we feel like that's going to really funnel traffic off the road, off the Cox Road, and it's going to make our car line extremely long, which is a good thing because it will funnel all the way around, and then the car line will take a left where the construction trailer currently sits right past the tennis courts. They'll take a left and go to Bird Road, and then they'll exit by the church and go that way. The buses will turn in by the baseball field, and we've already tried practicing and all that, so we should be good. But they will turn by the baseball field and come up to the front of the school and load, our kids will load the buses right in front of the new gym, because that's going to be the new front entrance for next year. And so they will load there, and then they'll exit just like they did last year, or for all these years. They'll make that left. And so I think it should be pretty, students will do like they did last year. That shouldn't change from the student parking lot on the side of the school.
So where are the students who are being dropped off coming in the school from the back?
in the back. They now will load in the cafeteria area in the back of the school.
And we'll be sending communication
Yes.
out from all the schools with maps like we have in the past couple of years.
Trying to get good aerial views as much as the construction can be completed. So,
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is public participation. This evening, we have 2 speakers who have submitted public participation requests. Each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes to address the board. As stated in Board Policy BCBI, public participation board meetings, we ask that you provide your intent comments and refrain from any derogatory remarks. We also ask that our audience show proper decorum by listening respectfully and avoiding any actions or comments that might distract from the speaker's time and remarks. Our first speaker this evening is Ms. Jessica Fisher.
Board. First off, I want to thank you guys for your millage discussion last week. That was really great that you guys decided to roll back the rate. I know my value has increased significantly, so I'll still probably be paying more no matter what anyway, but it was much appreciated. Some of your parents are struggling as more Title I schools are coming up online and backpacks need to be donated. So I also want to say about the special education, since I wasn't prepared for that, since it was not on the agenda, we really want to try not to outsource our best, because even some schools now are starting to turn to robots teaching students. I don't think we want to go there. That might be the future. I really don't want to see that, but I mean, it always begins to outsource and saves money. Well, then it trickles down. Next, it's going to be the custodians. Next, it's going to be the bus drivers. It usually does not stop. There's usually a beginning and an end, and it always just trickles down. We're saving $1 here. We're saving $1 here. We're saving $1 here. My question is, when every district saves $1, where do they put those dollars? Are they just sitting on it? Are they putting it back into the classroom? Everybody wants to save $1, but certain things, as you guys know, the taxpayer said, this is not where we want to save our dollars at all. We'd rather, sometimes I would rather pay more as long as I'm getting the good value for my dollar. I don't mind paying more taxes. I have to, write my tax check every year to Georgia for my employment taxes. I have to write, I personally have to go down and write out my real estate tax every year. To the tax, I do not mind. Never once have I complained about paying taxes as long as I'm getting value. I don't care. I don't want the classrooms ever cut, ever. And I just want to say thank you guys for being up here with your discussions lately. I think it is very breathtaking and refreshing. Shows that there is active involvement now instead of just voting. There's a lot of discussion being had from all different arenas, and I appreciate that, even if we don't all agree. I think it's great that we're discussing these things, and I hope everyone has a fantastic start of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Our next participant is Taylor Schwarzkopf.
Good evening, and I will be looking down just as you have what I've written. Again, good evening. My name is Taylor Schwarzkopf. I'm the parent of multiple students in this district, and until 60 days ago, I served this district as an interrelated resource paraprofessional supporting students with disabilities. Long before that, I learned in these classrooms as a student who fell through the same cracks. I promise that if I ever had children, they would not. I've experienced this district as a student, as a parent, and as an employee. Today, I refuse to put protecting the system ahead of protecting children. While I was still employed by this district, I became the parent who had to file a complaint with the Georgia Department of Education against the very district I worked. The Georgia Department of Education found Columbia County out of compliance with child fund, evaluations and reevaluations, and the provision of a free appropriate public education. The district was ordered to provide compensatory education, revise its procedures, and retrain special education staff and administrators. Those are not my opinions, those are the findings of the Georgia Department of Education. I received those findings in March while I was still employed under this district. I observed practices that raised serious concerns about the culture surrounding students with disabilities. I've personally witnessed adults mocking disability-related behaviors displayed by students. And that was just one of the several incidents I observed during my employment that made me question whether district policies, training, and accountability were being consistently reflected in daily practice. When I began asking those questions as both an employee and a parent, I experienced an environment where asking difficult questions became increasingly costly, and I was repeatedly discouraged from taking those concerns beyond the school building level. Everything I know about special education law, procedural safeguards, and parent rights, I had to teach myself because the responsibilities I was expected to carry exceeded the training I received. I resigned because I could no longer reconcile my ethical responsibility to advocate for children with the culture I experienced while doing so. The measure of a school district is not how it performs when everything is going well. It is how it responds when someone has the courage to say something is wrong. Culture is shaped not only by policy, but by what leadership chooses to tolerate, correct, and confront. To this board, I'm not asking for comforting words. I'm asking for accountability that the public can see and continue to see. The state required corrective action for my son, but I hope the public will get to see what actually changes. Transparency is not saying that you've changed, but it's allowing everyone to see that you have. Policies are written to protect students on paper, but culture determines whether those policies are followed when no one is watching. The children of this district should never have to depend on extraordinary parents to receive ordinary rights. The children of this district deserve more than our words. They deserve accountability for everyone they encounter while in school. Tonight, this statement becomes part of the public record, but whether it becomes a part of meaningful change, it is your responsibility.
Thank you.
I say thank you.
Thank you. That completes public participation.
Motion to return to executive session to discuss personal, legal, and real estate matters.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the board will return to the executive session. We will return to general session. I'm pleased to report.
Motion to the director to execute an affidavit in service of the law. Unless there is discussion in executive session that violated any law.
All in favor, raise your hand, please. Any opposed? All right, that's unanimous.
I make a motion that the personnel sheet is discussed in executive session be approved.
All in favor of approval of the personnel sheet, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous and approved.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, raise your right hand. We're adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.